Are we in a disconnect with retail and institutional investors? Matt Hogan from Bitwise believes that we are both in a bull and a bear market. We'll explain to you exactly what he's talking about and whether he has a point or not. Also, which celebrities are launching their meme coins, and will that be the revival of the meme coin space or further extract liquidity from the markets? We'll have that conversation. We have Forrest joining us for Forrest Friday. We'll break down the charts. A lot of good-looking altcoin charts that we're going to get into. Is Toncoin about to rip? Is Cardano about to rip? Is XLM about to rip? We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content where we take old, boring, stale information, repackage that turkey up in a fun and sexy way. You know what? I saw something interesting happen last night. I looked at the biggest movers. This was right around like 1, 2 in the morning. And at the top of the list was Flare. Flare was up over 5%. I'm like, what's going on with Flare?
Wow. Oh my God. 5%.
Well, hear me out though. Hear me out. I saw Flare up over 5%. But XRP wasn't up. XRP was flat, less than 1%. And then I wake up this morning, XRP's up massive, 7%. You also got Stellar up. You had and I thought to myself, maybe Flare was like a flare telling you that the XRP, it's like a precursor. I'm just saying, something to pay attention to.
Fire the flare gun.
If I see Flare rip again over 5% and I don't see XRP moving, I'm putting in a long position immediately.
Immediately and get liquidated immediately.
I'm just saying, your boy got alpha.
Hi, Forrest. How are you? Welcome back to the show, man. We missed you last week.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
I mean, don't you think there's some kind of correlation to that? Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, I mean, Flare's always had some correlation to XRP. I think Flare originally did their airdrop to XRP holders. So usually it's the opposite. Usually like XRP pumps and then Flare kind of follows behind. But yeah, I don't know what was up.
Dude, 5%. I mean, man, I can quit. I can quit now. I can retire.
Well, I mean, but what I'm saying is that signal flashing to me, and then XRP being the third largest crypto asset by market cap, that going up by 7% is 8%. That's a big move. Huge. When's the last time Ethereum moved 8%? It's been a while, baby.
Wow.
Been a while.
You're going to eat your words here in 3 months. Anyways, I want to start the show off with what Matt Hogan said. So this was kind of interesting, and I'm curious to get everyone's thoughts here. But he posted this. He said, there is an absolutely massive disconnect between retail and professional sentiment in crypto right now. Retail sentiment is the worst it's been in years, while professional investors are extraordinarily bullish. It's like living in two completely separate worlds. Forrest, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with what Matt's saying here? Because, you look across the board, and I know meme coins and AI and some of the lower cap altcoins, they have just been absolutely annihilated, right? But you look, XRP is at $2.70. Bitcoin's at 97K. ETH is at $2,800. Cardano's at 72 cents. So when you zoom out if you zoom in to the solid projects, the ones that have been around for a while, it seems like everything's okay, but it feels like people are still kind of, it's like a bear market out here. Do you agree with what Matt's saying here, that there's a disconnect? Is there like a narrative shift coming here? What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with this. I think essentially the Trump meme coin opened up the doors for just maximum extraction out of the quote unquote trenches, the low cap meme coin space. There's so many token launches. There's rumors that Kanye is going to drop a token. There's rumors that Dave Portnoy is going to drop a token. Like all these celebrity based tokens, they never end well. Like even the Trump token, the official launch Trump token. Yeah, it had like 2 days where it ran to $73 and now it's just massively down. These celebrity tokens are extraordinarily extractive. The platforms that they launch on are very extractive. Everybody wins, generally speaking, except for the people actually buying the tokens. The celebrities that launch them win. The teams that launch them for the celebrities take a cut. The radium pools take a cut. Everybody's extracting revenue from the space except for the people that are trying to trade these things. Unless you have like a very, very good strategy for trading these, if you have like, some way to get in early or early access, it's just not a good recipe. So yeah, and while at the same time we're getting regulatory clarity and regulatory legislation for the crypto space from the government for the first time in ever, essentially. And I could not be more bullish on what I refer to as suit coins, your XRPs, your XLMs, your Algorand's, your HBARs, Ondo, finance, real world asset stuff. I think is super, super bullish right now. So I'd get out of the trenches and focus on some large cap suit coins.
I just saw the thumbnail. Did you really do a thumbnail that says sell ETH?
How are we 10 minutes into the show and you just now realize what the thumbnail is?
Because I was busy doing other stuff this morning. Sell ETH. Okay. Don't sell ETH at $2,600. Okay. Don't do it. Don't listen to this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Let me, you know what? You weren't here last week. So basically the theme of this month basically has been, I have lost faith in ETH.
He's completely punted it.
And it's not that I don't think it'll occur value. It's not that I don't think that there's some likelihood that it'll surpass the returns of Bitcoin over the course of 12 months. But when I look at it from a risk to reward, when comparing Bitcoin and ETH, I just don't feel comfortable getting into it. And I look at a very simple scenario. We've used round numbers, and we've got this kind of in-house bet going on here, and it's basically I was like, I would not be surprised.
Hold on.
Would not be surprised.
Wait, just wait. Don't say the numbers. Don't say the numbers.
Well, let me for context. So I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin reach $300,000, so 3x from where it is now, and then yet we would not see a $10,000 Ethereum.
You said the numbers. Forrest, I was going to ask you, if Bitcoin's at 300K, where do you see Ethereum?
Depends on the time frame, but
what's
that? 3x for Bitcoin.
The day it hits 300,000.
The day it hits 300,000.
That was our bet.
I don't know. Maybe also 3x, probably in line. Maybe a 4x. So what? Maybe 10 grand, 10k ETH. But yeah, I mean, like, I just think there's going to be so many other things that was like 10x if that happens. Like if Bitcoin's at 300k, there's like, I don't know, like XRP is probably significantly higher than a 3x from where it's at right now.
See, that's kind of I almost feel your vibe here. It's that you don't feel overly confident that ETH will be over 10k. You had a pause. You were thinking about it. You're like, well, that's a 3x. And so I just look at it like, why on earth would I roll the dice on Bitcoin versus ETH? Why not just hold Bitcoin? Because I know when Bitcoin will get to 300,000. At this point, I'm not as sold on the guarantee that ETH will hit 10,000. And so for me, risk versus reward. And then on top of that, if I'm wrong, I still don't think that ETH overperforms Bitcoin to some astronomical number that makes me like kick myself in the ass. So I just look at it from like, what is the major bullish upside of having ETH with a $300,000 Bitcoin? Am I holding a $30,000 ETH? I don't think so. Am I holding a $20,000 ETH? I still don't think so. And so, I mean, what is the big upside for holding ETH versus Bitcoin? Maybe $12,000, maybe $13,000. And I feel like I'm taking a big risk because what I've seen since 2021 is just a loss of value, not only from ETH to Bitcoin, but also a loss of value from layer one smart contract, which was king and championed by ETH, moving over to competitors like Solana. And now you got more and more players entering in. And so, I mean, for me, I just look at it as an unnecessary risk when you could just simply buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you'd pick a number above or below 10K for us because that really didn't solve the issue.
Even if it's above, like I said, if it's 11,000, it's like, okay, you took the risk buying that ETH versus Bitcoin, but I mean, what'd you get? You scraped out an extra 10%?
You've completely punted on ETH, but I don't want to hammer this
Punted, bro.
dead horse here.
Punted that thing, kicked it out of the.
You have beaten that horse
Barry Bonds
so hard.
Home run that thing into.
Let me ask you this question: Would you rather hold Ethereum or Caspa?
Caspa.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about, Forrest, you brought up Dave Portnoy, Kanye West, right? So where's Forrest talking about? Dave Portnoy, I guess he made a big announcement. He's in the trenches of the meme coins that there's really not enough liquidity in. And he saw how much he can pump the market cap of one coin with his influence. And he said, well, why don't I start a meme coin myself? And it was reported, he's denied it. And then there was reports that Kanye West was going to do it. I feel like we're already at the bare bottom of the meme coin markets. What kind of ripple effects do you think it'll have if we do see people like Kanye, people like Dave Portnoy, maybe some other celebrities that haven't announced they potentially want to get into the space, start launching meme coins? Once upon a time, there was a conversation of, they're onboarding users. But we saw what happened with the Trump coin. Where are the users at, right? They either never came or they came and lost money and like, well, that wasn't fun. I'm not buying a crypto ever again. Forrest, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's like don't buy these coins if they launch them. They might have 1 to 2 days at best, and they can be rug pulled at any point in that first 1 to 2 days by insiders. So there's no even guarantee that if you get in from the very beginning that you're not going to do well. I mean, like, have we ever seen any celebrity meme coin do well? The answer is no, with the exception of like the Trump meme coin for 2 days. And then it peaked, or maybe 3 days. It peaked and now it's down like 80, 90%. The Hawk Tua coin, the Andrew Tate coin, the Iggy Azalea coin. If any of these celebrities, like, they're not launching coins to make you money. They're launching coins to make themselves money. It's a zero-sum game. Everybody else is going to take a cut. The team's going to take a cut that launches it. Radium's making fees off the liquidity pools. Meteora, if they use Meteora, like, everybody's taking a cut except for, and then it's just scraps to fight over from the traders. So just avoid these coins. I think it's only going to be a net negative for the meme coin space. I'm super bearish meme coins, as far as, I'm not going to say like meme coins can't go higher from where they're at right now, like Pepe or Doge or whatever, but I just think they're just going to continue to underperform. Like I see very little, like, if you even look at what meme coins, like why did meme coins even become a thing? It was because there was no regulatory clarity. It was because you couldn't buy AAVE or Uniswap with hopes that they're going to share revenue or be able to operate in the US, or that they're not going to get served a Wells notice by the SEC. So what do you buy instead? You buy something with zero utility, such as a meme coin, and everybody kind of piled onto that narrative. Well, now we're getting regulatory clarity. So like there's no place for meme coins, at least not for a while, and no place for meme coins to outperform. I really just don't see meme coins outperforming utility coins for the foreseeable future. And last year it was the opposite. It was meme coins outperforming utility coins, but now that Trump's won and we're getting regulatory clarity, I think it's utility coins over meme coins. Meme coins super extractive right now. I don't know. Let the celebrities launch them, but just I wouldn't put any money into it.
Rob brought up a point. Was it this week or last week? He talked about, for the last 6 years, it was coins were going up in value because of the promise, right? We're working on this. We're building this. We're going to do this, right? We just need regulatory clarity. We just need people to adopt blockchain technology. Well, the time is here. So,
yeah, and to kind of what you were saying or alluding that I was talking about, it's very simple.
You were saying about what I was saying.
Yeah, well, you were trying to say what I was saying, but here's what I said. Last bull market cycle, what did we have at the very beginning? We had ETH smart contracts roll out, DEXs, NFTs, ERC20s. Everything else was a promise. Everything else was, we're going to do this. This is our roadmap. This is what we're going to be able to do. Use your imagination, metaverse, NFT ticketing. Everything was what we can do and why our project is going to be the one to spearhead that sector, spearhead that vertical. We're going to be the champion of gaming, and all of that was promises. However, now fast forward 4 or 5 years, now we're not in a space where we have one chain, Ethereum. There is now multiple layer ones that are practicing, putting in use, have real utility, have dApps, have all of the stuff that they either promised or have built since then. And so there's these working models that in real time, you can see the transactions, you can see, are people there, or are the promises fulfilled? Now, if you have the utility and people are using it, then cool. You have the transactions, you have the volume, you bring the TVL. But I think the promise of like, hey, our chain is going to do this, like that ain't worth as much anymore. Because now you have, well, I can invest or I can buy, and the promise, the hope, the soon to be, the roadmap says, and you just wait till the next upgrade comes out, and the next, like, why even roll the dice on that when you have, hey, I got this project says they're going to be the fastest and the most decentralized. Well, they're not fast right now, but well, this one's fast, and everything they said they're trying to do, it's already built here. And so for me, I would caution our viewers to stop investing wholly and solely on the roadmap and the upside, right? Start picking stuff that actually has communities, that actually have dApps, that actually have developers, that actually have the transactions that are there right now and are building. And if the community is increasing, the transactions are increasing, the TVL is increasing, it's a pretty damn good sign to get in. Now, with that said, have some higher risk plays, some things that haven't materialized. But my God, if you go all in on a promise that the roadmap will be fulfilled in 2025 at some point in time, maybe if it doesn't get pushed back to 2026, but all of our community really loves this one, so why don't we just buy it now? Like, you guys, you're going to get burned, bro. Maybe you luck out. Maybe you catch the next early Solana, the next early Ton coin, but more than likely you're not. And so what I would recommend is pick some high community, big ecosystem plays, whether that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whatever. Pick those and then diversify out, go down the risk curve, man, because I'm telling you, I'm looking at people, they're so underwater on this idea, like where I see in the chat all the time, man. Like, I only have this coin. I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I believe in it, but shoot, man. Why you got 100% of your portfolio in something outside the top 50 that hasn't launched a dApp yet?
Any you want to weigh in on this here for us?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think blockchain infrastructure, like, so the whole argument of like having the fastest chain with the most uptime, the most throughput, like basically Solana's there. You know, on it's like it's got a pretty massive lead. There's other chains out there. There's Sui, there's other stuff, but also in terms of just like attracting a core user base and liquidity, like Solana's like basically done that. So it's kind of like you know, like cell phones. I just like cell phones or smartphones look very similar now to what they did like 4 years ago. Like after the iPhone 12, like now you're on like the iPhone 17, like they basically look the same. There's like a couple of like, I mean, they're essentially the same phone, just very, very small improvements. But the iPhone 12 versus the iPhone 1 is like night and day difference, like just totally improved. And then like compared to a flip phone, like I think we've pretty much speed run most of the blockchain infrastructure race for you know where stuff's going to be, and you know how many transactions and how much throughput it needs to handle. So I think that was like the story of last cycle, was like invest in blockchain infrastructure, your Solanas, your Avalanches, your Phantoms, right? Everything was just like the L1 trade, and then like what was the biggest DEX on each L1. Now, I think what's likely to happen is a similar race, but at the institutional level, or at the, yeah, I mean, you call it the, you know, basically the legacy financial infrastructure is going to undergo a very large change where they adopt blockchain infrastructure. So I think like that's the race to focus on. You had like the permissionless network race last cycle, and then this cycle, like kind of Solana took off as the big winner. But I think this, moving forward, you're just seeing the legacy financial infrastructure. It's going to adopt blockchain. It's like Elon wanting to put government spending on a blockchain. I mean, maybe they do it on ETH, maybe they do it on Solana. Like, I would bet that it's going to be like some highly regulated ISO 222 compliant chain like Algorand or HBAR or XRP or Stellar. Like, it's probably going to be a different set of blockchains with different, different use cases, like use cases built specifically for what they're trying to do. So yeah, I tend to agree. Like I think you got to be really careful with like the promise of, oh, our blockchain, our architecture promises 15,000 transactions per second, which is better than Solana. It's like I think that race is over. Like I think you got to be real careful about buying into some L1 because of the promises that they're making. So yeah, I agree with Robin. I just think it's going to be legacy financial infrastructure. Like that's where you want to invest. That's the race you want to participate in.
Ondo's been performing pretty well.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they move forward with the treasury on the blockchain, and Trump puts in a call to what's the gentleman's name? Scott Bessent said, whatever blockchain you guys pick, make sure it's a made in the USA crypto. And so all the ones Forrest mentioned are made in the USA. I would like to add Cardano in there. So it's interesting. We got a couple important things to get to, then we'll jump into the markets and we'll take a look at Ondo. Number one, huge news. Donald Trump will be signing an executive order to end paper straws. We're bringing back plastic. Were either one of you a fan of paper straws? No.
I don't.
Your silence is deafening.
I don't use much straws. Like I'm not a big straw person. I know some people can't ingest liquid without a straw, which is crazy. But
sometimes you actually need a straw.
For what? Just tilt the cup.
Do you say Ashley?
Ashley, do you use straws?
I do.
Do you see the importance in using straws?
I do.
Thank
you. He orders his Starbucks in a paper cup. Like,
with
I don't
straws.
know.
Yeah.
He's weird.
What are you talking about?
You get your iced coffee in the hot cup.
What are you doing over there? You got any new people?
Plastic is so scary. Plastic.
I try to minimize my plastic intake, okay? Just because I want less plastic in my bloodstream doesn't mean I'm not a weirdo about it, okay?
Plastic bad.
Oh.
Anyways, Ashley, you want to
Anyways, we have a couple new people. Kingsley 41 Runna, X Fedmen, Hodl Crypto, XRP, Fundamentals K, John Johnson. That's a fun name. Jerry M, Kimberly TP Hand. Toilet paper hand?
Oh. Maybe he
Anyways,
doesn't have toilet
yeehaw.
paper, he uses his hand. Anyways, one more piece of thing I want to talk about. Sunday's the Super Bowl. Although I have not watched a game myself for quite a long time because there's really no time. There's too much going on here at the studio. But I do know the Super Bowl is going to be the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And, every year there's people that come to Vegas. They come here, they get hammered, they put in some dumb prop bets. These are some of the dumbest prop bets that are available. Color of the liquid poured on the winning coach. Purple is the favorite. Super Bowl MVP mentions first in the speech. God or Jesus is the favorite. Will the power go out during the game? What will happen to the price of Bitcoin during the game? Right now, up is right now the favorite. How many times will Roger Goodell be shown? First TV advertisement. And then halftime show. Will Kendrick Lamar mention Drake? Robin, are you betting money on any of these prop bets?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Do you have a favorite to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, you just got to go with the Chiefs, bro. I mean,
Who's in the Super Bowl?
Chiefs
I'm
and
so
Eagles.
out of it.
Me too. Chiefs and Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I actually always wanted an eagle tattoo when I was young, so I'm going to go with the Eagles.
It's not too late, David.
You can still get one.
Not too
I
late.
don't have a single tattoo. Although I have an idea for a tattoo, but I don't know. It'll hurt really bad.
I hope it's not Terra
If
Luna.
they don't hurt that bad, you're fine.
No,
You'll
it's
be okay.
in a place that would hurt very bad. Forrest. You got a
That's
pick
weird.
here,
That's
Eagles,
weird.
Chiefs. Will you be watching the game?
I'm betting on the coin toss landing on its edge. I think those are good odds.
You're
I think they're gonna have to
that's like
retoss
that's
the
like
coin.
trading meme coins nowadays, right?
Yeah, just about.
That's funny. All right, Forrest, if you want to queue up a Bitcoin chart real quick, my friend, I'll have Rob take a look at the markets. Robin, take it away.
All right. So taking a look, 97,500 is where we're at on Bitcoin. And then you also got Ethereum. Well, not looking good for ETH, man. You know, I'm just I can't stop making fun of ETH, man. I mean, at what point? You know, you get so excited when this thing moves up a couple percent, but you stay quiet when it tumbles from 28 down 26. So I can't get behind ETH anymore, man. Oh my God, XRP's up 6.66%. Jesus, why are you doing this to us?
Wow.
So, is it not concerning that it's up 6.66%, David? No. Okay. And then okay, so take a look. You do got Flare up 17%. So, I mean, interesting to see. This is leading the pack. Was there any big Flare news? I didn't see any last night. Did you catch any Flare news?
Nope.
Well, also Stellar. So, you know, a nice little bounce back in the market. You know, you got Flare, XRP, Stellar, and Caspa all up over 5%. And Hedera as well, leading out 5% rebounds on the 24 hours. But, you know, let's just remind ourselves where we're at. Outside of Mantra, everything is down on the week. You got Virtuous Protocol. You know, it had a little bit of bounce back last night. I saw it up over, I think it was like 8%. So it made an attempt to rebound a little bit, but still down 42% on the 7 days. And then you also got the meme coins bleeding off. I was very interested to hear what Forrest was saying when he was talking about these meme coins and them kind of falling out of favor. You know, I think he might have been spot on, and I know I've talked about it before. I think meme coins are going to have less and less of a narrative as far as the big ones. I still hold a lot of faith in Doge. I'm a big fan of Doge. I just think that there's more to Doge than simply the meme coin, and I tie a lot of that back to Elon, back to X, also back to perhaps the money transmitter licenses that X has submitted or applied for and received money transmitter license for most states at this point. And so pretty excited for that. But I mean, outside of that, it's kind of flat here on the market. If you look at the top 10, not too much movement outside of XRP and Stellar. So, there you go.
Triple D said, "Go Birds, Eagles." Thank you for that super chat. Forrest, BTC. What are we looking at here, man? We're looking at another March to September, 7 months of just boring sideways action. What are you seeing?
No, I think we will get some chop here, but and the way I'm kind of looking at it here is I've kind of broken it down. So I think from bottom to roughly the ETF was just like a large kind of accumulation period. You know, obviously it was vertical in nature. You had, you know, a little bit of sideways price action in there, but in general, I think this was like early, like pre-halving buyers, quote unquote, bear market buyers, you know, spotting the trend reversal and just accumulating here. Then we had the ETF, which marked Bitcoin's price up to, you know, 73K, ranged all the way down to 50K or so. And we saw that this initial kind of stage of the trend upwards was around 400 and change, you know, for a little over a year long. Then we had the big markup, and then we ranged for 250 days or so before the election, sent us higher. Now we've been so far ranging for 83 days or so. And the kind of thought process here is simply like, as Bitcoin accelerates in kind of a more, you know, parabolic nature, these consolidations should get to be like a shorter and shorter period of time. So like, you know, I don't know, maybe this time, last time was 200, you know, it was 450, then 250, maybe this time it's 150. We're at 83 so far. So maybe we have another couple of months here before Bitcoin, you know, takes another stab upwards. That would be like April or May or so over the summer, which would be
If Forrest,
totally
Real
Go
quick,
ahead.
I saw them there peeking to the left side of that chart. You saw the last cycle, and it had that big parabolic run up. We had so much acceleration from that. It was like $8,000 COVID low. I think it at one point got down to like 6 or something. But either way,
3,500.
or 3,000 for a day. But that big just rocket of a price. I feel like we're not going to get that this bull market. It seems like we're just stair stepping our way up. Do you think that we're going to get that giant green candle and that parabolic move to the upside? Maybe it's, the Bitcoin treasury announcement, the US just simply buying 250,000 Bitcoin a day, massive price shock, or do you just think we're just going to stair step and maybe the market for Bitcoin was in its adolescent stage back in 2021 and now it's harder to move a $2 trillion asset?
Yeah, I think we're more in line with 2017, the 2017-18 cycle, which I just kind of took a fractal from. We moved out to like the 3-day. So the thought process is like last cycle was very butchered in a lot of ways. And what I mean by butchered is just like not your typical cycle. For one, it bottomed out with like that tether FUD or whatever, and then kind of had like a mini bear market, like echo pump, right? But then you had COVID, which like took it too low, too fast. And then you had like crazy quantitative easing that just basically juiced this market very hard, very fast. And then you kind of had like this weird double top. You had like China FUD, and like I feel like it was a very it wasn't a very organic parabolic growth curve. It was just like very jittery and very reactive to global news, and then obviously the liquidity cycle that we saw so far. Like this is the fractal from 2017 and 2018, which was like one of the cleanest parabolic moves of all time. If you look at like any parabolic move ever, like this was very clean. This was from like 100, like call it $200 all the way to $19,000. We're following that fairly closely, even though it feels like we're chopping along very slowly. We're on a logarithmic chart here, and it's still moving up at just a very linear pace, which is, meaning exponentially faster and faster and faster. So that's kind of where the thesis comes in, that we're eventually going to get to a point where we start like kind of picking up the pace and moving. Now, obviously, I think we have diminishing returns. I don't think we're going to see a move to the same degree.
Me and the chat, I want to say, me and the chat are very curious on what that top of that purple.
Yeah. So
what is that? What is that? I know
is
diminishing returns, but give me some hopium. What is the top of that right there?
Yeah. So the top of that would be like 800 to K to 1 million by like October.
There it is.
I don't think that's the case. I think Bitcoin's a much larger asset now than it was when it was at $200. It's a lot more difficult. It takes a lot more capital to move. Now, I'm not saying that we can't have a similar parabolic move in nature, but I do think that if we do, it'll probably be shrunken down a little bit. It'll probably be shrunken down. And this would still be an insane blow off top, like $400,000. Now, I'm very cautious about throwing out like $400,000 targets at this point in time. But maybe it's 250, maybe it's 300. If you go into like a true blow off top where everybody's panic buying Bitcoin, things can just move really, really fast, and you don't spend a lot of time up at $400,000. It's like a day up at $400,000, and it's coming right back down to like 250, 300, right? So I for right now, I actually do think that we are in a similar cycle to this. Again, I don't have a specific target for where we end up. Maybe it's 300s, maybe it's 200s, whatever. Maybe it's just diminished. But the important thing is to note that if I just look at this fractal, like it starts off at, a lower slope, and then that slope starts to increase over time, right? That slope starts to increase. So if we look at something similar, right, we're starting to see that slope increase ever so slowly. Every time we kind of consolidate, we're starting to see that slope increase. And what we want to see now is we want to see this kind of like we want to see this basically be the bottom. Ideally, like maybe we get another flush or something, but ideally we want to see like another increase in slope where this marks up to like 130, 140, consolidates for a shorter period of time, and then we're increasing our slope again. Like that's how kind of like parabolically, parabolic curves work. Like you want them to move faster and faster and faster. And the point I'm trying to make is we had this like long, slow consolidation. What I want to see is this consolidation lasts considerably like less time. I don't know if it's over now or if it's got another month or two of chop. Maybe it's another month or two, but I want to see this start to move aggressively, probably by sometime in March or maybe April at the latest, and start stair-stepping up again.
Hey, Forrest.
And then you get those faster and faster moves.
Forrest, quick question. Let's say
Yep.
Bitcoin gets to 800,000. Where is he? Just cut it out.
Probably pretty high too, but I don't know. I actually think like ETH is at the point where it might start outperforming Bitcoin for a little bit, but honestly, I think it's my thesis that like XRP is going to be the number 2 coin in this cycle. I think like XRP is going to flip ETH, and everyone's going to look at like what is the relationship between XRP and Bitcoin, and like XRP is going to be the main altcoin to pay attention to over ETH. But that's my take. I could be wrong.
Forrest, we had a super chat from American Pool Guy. I talk about virtuals on the show all the time. I'm still personally bullish on the project. They made an announcement. They're actually working with the team at X to integrate agents into the X platform. He wants to know, do you have a bear base and a bull case for virtual currently? We know it's retraced from that $5 10 mark, got all the way down to almost $1. What's your thesis on virtuals at the current moment?
Yes, this is a fractal that I pulled from Axie Infinity last cycle. It's actually very, very similar. So this purple one is Axie Infinity. It saw a 78% drawdown, and then it consolidated and chopped, right? So the bull case for virtual protocol, now keep in mind, Axie Infinity went to like a $20 billion market cap at its height, went very, very high. So that would be like $20 for virtuals protocol. The bull case is that it just takes a breather and it just holds between like $1 and $1.50 for the next 2 months. And then when the market heats up again and alts start running again, it breaks out, they have some bullish announcement, whatever that is. And then it takes off like Axie Infinity did last cycle. So we'll see. Bear case, I mean, like any of these coins at any time, like if people lose interest in them, they can go to essentially zero. Like, I don't know, like, 30 cents, 40 cents. I don't know. There's some support down here. But I still like the team. I still like the project. This thing ran super, super hard. It's not that weird, right? Like for this, if you look at like fib lines or just like retracement levels on a log chart here, like this is just, it's retracing a large part of the move, but like all of this part of the move is still, very much in profit at this point in time. My base case expectation is that this chops sideways, and if the market goes back up, it at least takes another stab at at a couple billion market cap, as long as AI stays relevant, which I think it will. So this is kind of my mental model right now. I want to see this pop back up to like 150 or so, chop for a couple months. And I think it's probably a very good buy in late February, March, if this thing pokes its head back above $2. I think if it pops up to $2, I actually think it has the ability to run another 5 to 10x, just depending on where the market's at by the end of February, early March.
Yeah. There's certain teams where the market goes against them, right? Because a lot of these teams, when they launch a token, that's where they're getting the money from, right? Their funding is through their token. And so if they see the market go against them, they might just throw in the towel and say, you know what, it was cool. We made a little bit of money. We recouped our initial investment. What I want to remind people is this team watched their project go from 600 million to 6 million in value. And they continue to build. They're continuing to build. I'm still super bullish on virtual protocol. We talk about it ourselves, right? I'd say it all the time. If nothing has fundamentally changed except for the price action, there's really no need to panic. And in fact, it's actually gotten better in my personal opinion. So, and like Forrest mentioned, unless you believe, my opinion, unless you believe AI will completely fade away as a narrative and sector, then sure, sell your bag and move on to something else.
Well, I mean, I do say, you know, and I don't know, we talked about it internally. I do think that even those narratives might not change, or, you know, the team might not change, the project hasn't developed, it hasn't went any opposite direction. You do got to remember that the world's largest companies are building AI. And so to blindly believe that crypto AI will just keep growing and blockchain AI will end up being a billion, you know, $1 trillion asset class. Like, I honestly, I'm bullish on crypto and AI, and I have no reason to dismiss it at this moment, but I do look on from the outside of a crypto perspective. And, you know, AI agents are being built by the world's largest companies that have endless amounts of funding. And you know what? Like, there's a ton of compute power, and the more compute power you have, the bigger leg up you have. So for me, when it comes to AI, I'm a believer in my AI projects, but how dominant are they going to be when you have the biggest competitors, ChatGPT or OpenAI? You got Google. I mean, you have X. I mean, the world's largest individual, Elon Musk, is buying up every piece of GPU there, you know, graphic power there is. And so I would caution those out there. And I know you're blindly bullish to it, which I actually believe that until proven otherwise, I have to be on the side of crypto AI. But from a caution perspective, from you know, hey, let me evaluate the horizon, I am concerned that AI will be dominated by the world's largest companies. They have just an insane bankroll to develop.
And we've already seen that, right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of AI, you know, this team from Reploy, they reached out to us. They wanted us to talk about their project. They wanted us to cover it. It's kind of interesting. I want to share their website here. So this is Reploy AI. So we have a lot of large language models. You know, you have ChatGPT, you have Llama, you have, what is it, Bard or whatever.
Yeah.
And so what Reploy has done is they've created the architecture and LLMs directly, strictly for cryptocurrency. So all the data that these language models are trained on is for blockchain, for crypto, and for metrics that are liable, or, you know, that people use in the crypto space. So here is their website. It's called reploy.ai. And so you can see here some of their numbers: over 70 million requests per month. You can see that they're leveraging NVIDIA, GitHub, Google Cloud as their AWS. And then they have a few products, 3 of them, and they're all coming soon. One is called Fisher. It's an AI-powered visual development platform for building decentralized apps without the need for code. I think this is going to be even bigger moving forward. Is, hey, we always talk, what do I always talk about? I always talk about breaking the barrier of entry down, right? The easier it is for someone to plug into your network or plug into your ecosystem, the better. If I got to go through 20 steps just to trade a coin on your layer 1, I'm not going to do that. Well, I might, because I want to make money, but the average person won't. And so the less I have to do and the easier it is for me to do it, the more you're going to attract people like me, ordinary people, extraordinary people, you name it. So this is going to be one of the products that's coming soon. The other one is called Corrales. These are AI trading agents, right, that are executing sophisticated strategies with autonomous wallets. We talked about the Trump meme coin, okay? There was a few AI agents that were able to snipe it at $700 million, fully diluted, and ride that thing up. And I don't know when they sold it, but they were able to snipe it at $700 million. And let me put it to you this way. I'm pretty plugged in to social media and X. I'm probably on that platform 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Like, I'm not even joking. And by the time I saw it, it was at $6 to $8 billion. And so you're starting to see the benefit of having AI agents that are able to control wallets, essentially a trader on your phone that can snipe out things like this. So that is one thing they're also coming out with. That is also coming soon. And the last one is called Lumen, which is a cloud-based AI development platform for generating and managing dynamic smart contracts. Again, those are coming soon. So this to me is a very interesting project. Again, if you believe in AI in the future, you want to talk about infrastructure, you can have 100 million agents. If there is no infrastructure for them, it's not going to matter. And they also have a coin called RAI, R-A-I, Now, this has seen like, I think it hit that 786 retracement level. But this is a project. It's currently sitting at around $25.78 million. So something to keep your eye on as the AI narrative continues to heat up. Projects like this, you know, we talk about deep pin infrastructure. You can say it in layer ones. You can say it for RWAs. Don't forget about AI and the important role it's going to play. Look at ELIZA OS, right? AI 16Z that just went over to ELIZA. Look at Hollow World. Look at Virtual Protocol. These are all infrastructure plays, and Reploy is one as well that I'd recommend at least putting it on your watch list and your radar. Forrest, you know, I was looking at some charts. I was looking at the Cardano chart. I was looking at the Toncoin chart. And I was on the 4-hour, and I saw some bullish divergence. A lot of Bollinger Band constrictions. The thing with crypto is a lot of the charts look the same. Is there any altcoin chart, Forrest, that you have had your eye on or are seeing in the markets that you're like, all right, there's a move coming here, or maybe there's a trade opportunity? Any altcoin chart? I'll kind of leave it to you there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share my screen here. Yeah, the only charts that I really have any interest in whatsoever are basically XRP, XLM, ALGO, HBAR, Ondo. Ondo looks pretty decent. Looks somewhat constructive, a little bit messy there. High time frame HBAR looks interesting. HBAR looks very similar to what Palantir looked like. Let me go out to like maybe the weekly here. So kind of higher time frame. Got a little bit of a diagonal there that we're trying to hold support on. But yeah, 18 cents down here all the way up to really range highs, maybe like 40 cents. So, you know, call it 38 to 18. This could turn into like a choppy consolidation, but the point I'm trying to make here is that it looks very similar to, if we scroll down here to, where's Palantir? I'll just type it in. Palantir, which you can see I've kind of already been
the darling of the stock
here.
market, huh?
Yeah, it's just absurd. I caught it from like $25 and sold at like 40. Way too soon.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so here, like you have this kind of big distribution. It's cup and handle, vertical accumulation, reclaim of this level, and then back test of it. So I essentially think that HBAR is here. Like I think, and this is a slightly older chart, or copy and paste from I think yesterday or the day before. Maybe it's 2 days old, but it hasn't changed much because it's a weekly chart. Yeah, I just think HBAR is, you know, we had this big distribution, this big, I'm not going to call it a cup and handle, but reaccumulation period, and now we've reclaimed where we were, you know, we were distributing priorly, right? And now we've just gotten our kind of like our first back test of this. So we saw 2 tests, really 3 individual tests if you zoom in there on Palantir. So this could chop around for the next month or two. But I do think that it fits the narrative. If the HBAR benefits from regulation, I want to just see this start to accumulate upwards. I want to see this start to grind upwards. And I think it'll look a lot quite similar to Palantir. Same kind of concept for Algorand here. Algorand's been a little bit weaker in terms of trying to like maintain above its prior range, right? You want to see it above 27, 28 cents. So I don't know if Algorand will just kind of chop around here, but if this ever reclaims, you know, convincingly 28, 29, 30 cents, I think it's a good long. XLM, I think, is just in an absolutely massive pattern similar to what XRP broke out of. So you just have this, you know, very long-term symmetric triangle. I don't know if this will come all the way back down to the midpoint and test 20 cents. It's at 33 cents right now. But I think this is just a spot accumulation. Anywhere you can get some spot XLM, right, into a breakout, I think this can run super high. And then, of course, XRP is leading the charge on its very, you know, macro pattern here, triangle breaking out. I want to see some vertical accumulation for XRP. I want to see this start to just chop upwards. I want to see this start to just grind upwards, put in higher highs and higher lows, and then ultimately, you know, break out pretty aggressively. So suit coins, XRP, XLM, ALGO, HBAR, I think Ondo just sit and accumulate spot, not financial advice. That's my plan. I don't think you want to leverage trade these as volatile as they've been. And yeah, I think it's just pretty straightforward. I think they're the strongest coins right now.
Awesome. We did have a couple super chats, and then I'll throw it over to Ashley. Triple D said, "Where is Luigi?" I don't know, but he's got his almanac on the way. Also, shout out to Mario. Yours will be shipping as well. And then Ricky Romero said, "What are some top signals when the top is near, and when should we start to DCA out? Maybe Q3."
When you see weird celebrities that have nothing to do with crypto all of a sudden promoting crypto, I think that's the big top signal.
My thing always is, like metrics, numbers aside, just from strictly if you're sitting on huge gains and you start feeling euphoric and you start saying, "Oh my God, and then if it just goes to this much higher, it's time to take some profits."
If somebody that you would never, ever, 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 ever expect to talk about crypto saying they YOLO'd into some meme coin, top's probably it.
Any insight there for us really quick? And then there's one more super chat.
Yeah, like any sort of signs of euphoria, like if you feel the need to like tell your wife how much money you've made, or tell your friend like, "Oh, I made so much money on this coin," like, you got to get in. Like if you feel the need to like share your profits or your strategies or recruit other people, like that's like it's time to,
I will say the one downside I can back test this, and I back tested it through my photos on my phone, is the god awful screenshot with a number where you take a screenshot, you're like, it says like 832% profit. You got some astronomical number, you screenshot it, you hit send to somebody, it's straight straight collapses, bro.
Guys, I got to come clean. 2 weeks ago, I showed my son my portfolio, and we're planning our Hawaii trip, and that was the top. I'm sorry. True story. And then DJ Tabasco, nice name. What are your thoughts on Farm Roll? I like how you can have the ability to create your own AI agent without knowing how to code. I'm not personally familiar with Farm Roll, but again, back to my point, the easier it is for people to join your ecosystem and to build in it, the better. So, Ashley, hope the list is not too long this time.
We got JB, Justin Bieber, perhaps.
Wow.
My goodness.
Real quick, have you guys seen pictures of Justin Bieber lately? He looks not good.
Good? Not good?
Not good.
Oh, man, I need to look him up.
Let's put up a
Well, he's like a dad now.
Is he?
Well, he has a kid on the way.
Oh, okay.
Let me see him.
Okay. Great.
Anyways, we also have It's Just Joe, Arco, Ernie, username Mark, 2-in-1, Kagan, Jerry. I think it's Stefan. I don't think it's Stephanie. I don't know. Al Jr. and Lucio. Yeehaw. Let me see Justin Bieber.
I'm trying to find him.
Are you like, did you have like Justin Bieber posters on your room growing up? What
I
the
did
hell
not.
is that?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man.
That's the
serious.
dad.
I mean,
Oh, perfect.
Is that actually him?
That is a man.
no, that's him.
That's him?
Yeah.
Why does he look like that?
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm just trying to say people are
Does
weird.
Is
live
he
in
like
California?
okay?
He lives in California.
Let's call him up.
He definitely
That
looks like
can't be real.
what's it? Maybe him and Ariana Grande been hanging out. Have you
No.
seen her lately?
She also looks not okay.
Yeah. I think they all
Looks
started
like
taking
he invested
Ozempic.
in meme coins.
Anyways, there's no chart on this for us, so I'm not going to chime you in, but I do want to.
So he looks like he invested in meme coins.
No, he still looks good.
He looks like
that
he
was
bought
just
the-
like an off picture. That was like paparazzi doing him dirty.
He looks like he bought the
good.
top on Trump,
Yeah,
you know?
him paparazzi doing him dirty. Look how low his pants were. Zoom out. That's paparazzi ain't got nothing to do with
Oh,
it.
he's hanging out on 18th. What the hell? He's hanging out on 18th Street, bro.
He looks good on his.
You know they say the high. They say
like
the higher.
you can't be like there's
Listen,
there's
bro.
like getting caught at a bad angle.
Listen, bro.
And then there's literally not wearing pants.
Hey, they say the higher the socks, the downer the fool. Huh?
literally.
The lower the pants, the higher the eyes. I don't know. One more thing I want to talk about. You know, Forrest, you mentioned Ondo. We always try to catch the next narratives pumping. I believe RWAs are about to explode, and I think Ondo is going to be at the forefront of that. They just announced their Ondo chain. It's going to be an L1, like, you know, strictly prioritizing institutions and RWAs. Do you have a super bullish price target for Ondo, Robin?
for a super bullish price target. I don't know what the price. I mean, I would go off on market cap.
Okay.
So I just haven't followed the Ondo chart.
Ondo market cap
price, but at its current market cap for $4 billion, I would not be surprised to see it get up to 100 billion. So
25x.
Yeah, I think this thing has so much. We've been very, very bullish on Ondo. I know that we've had some community members get into Ondo when we were first discussing it about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when BlackRock really started we started pumping out the, hey, Ondo, BlackRock, guys, come on, correlation here. Makes a lot of sense. You also had Larry Fink going out talking about RWAs, and this is their RWA choice here.
The guy literally said everything will be tokenized.
Yeah, man, it just seemed like a no-brainer. And even at its current price or current market cap, I feel like it's an absolute no-brainer. And we opened up the show where we discussed the fact that like the smartest people in the room are saying that institutions are buying. The narrative is shifting from institution to big retail pumps. Forrest said, hey, he thinks that the memes are kind of dying out. It seems like there might be a shift. Instead of speculative, whatever the hell the community is raving about, it might move. It might move from, hey, what retail is hyped about by what institutions, banks, and big money's hyped about. And you can't get any more hyped on institutional interest than Ondo.
I have to ask, what performs better, Ondo or ETH?
Ondo by a mile.
I agree.
Bro.
Ondo
by a mile.
Ondo outperforms. Forrest, do you have a super astrological
super astrological? How many more adjectives are you gonna throw on
price
this thing?
prediction for Ondo? What's your here? We got Robin's Moonboy prediction. What's your base case for Ondo? Is it 50 billion, 60 billion? Is it higher? Are we not taking into account the influence and power of companies like BlackRock, like Fidelity, like Franklin Templeton that are directly working with Ondo?
I mean, for starters, I'll say I think $3 to $4 range seems pretty reasonable. So it's what, a 2.5x just for starters, and then it really just depends on how fast and aggressive we see, regulatory clarity and how much I don't know how much money is Ondo going to be able to onboard over the next year or two. I don't know the answer to that question. I do think that they're going to onboard a lot of real world assets, and I think it's ultimately bullish, but it's hard for me to quantify that and just be like, hey, it's going to go to $15 or $20. But I mean, for starters, I think that this thing can run to $3, $4 and then maybe $7, $8. It just really depends on how fast this market moves. A lot's going to depend on how fast Bitcoin moves, and how fast, we get regulatory clarity. So yeah, I don't know. I think David Sachs said we're 6 months from regulatory clarity. So hopefully in the next 4 to 6 months, we start to see a lot of this stuff take off and move. So, I mean, I think even if you caught a 2x on it, a 2 to 3x on Ondo in 2025, that's pretty excellent return. So yeah, it's
not enough.
Nothing crazy, but we'll say $3 to $4 for starters.
I'm in the 15 to 20. That's where I'm at. I think Ondo Chain brings actual utility to their to that coin, because at the moment it's just the governance token, really. Before we close out, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show was brought to you by CAMS Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how CAMS can help your business scale and grow and maximize your networking, IT, and cyber security, visit bluewiretech.com. There's a link in the description of this video. Also, shout out to all of you watching us on X and on Rumble. We love you guys. Sorry if you feel neglected, but we love you. Anyways, you know what I noticed, Forrest? I was gonna go on your I'm on your X handle because I was gonna shill it, and then I saw a subscribe. Did you just get this approved by X?
No, I was messing around with it forever ago, and they randomly approved it I don't know, months ago. But then I didn't even give me the ability to post. Right. And I don't promise anything. It's $2 a month. I post some pictures of my dogs occasionally. If you want to subscribe to Sistine Research, we run everything out of the Discord, not on Twitter. But
what is the dog breed there? What do we get for the $2? Are we getting a min pin? What do you got?
What do we get
Yorkie?
for the $2?
I'm just
some Australian Shepherd.
Australian
Border Collie
Shepherd.
mixes.
Does he know tricks?
Yeah.
I seen an Australian Shepherd and their owner at the dog park next to me, and they got frisbees and tricks and jumps, and then my dog has got one eye and a broke leg, and so
smells
it's,
like shit.
just,
Yeah, mine.
I'm just very disappointed.
I've got two. One was born blind. One was born deaf, so they don't know a lot of tricks.
Oh man.
My dog, I can't say what I want to say. Anyways, guys, if you want insight from Forrest, visit Sistine.ai. Also, we have a Patreon as well. If you want some insight there, we do trading, we do alpha, we do Ashley's Classroom, which should be going live. We're like 9 away. 9 away from
Ooh.
Ashley's Classroom being opened up.
9 away.
We're doing giveaways. So either way, you should definitely follow Forrest on X at Sistine Research. Just some absolutely great insight. Love this man. Anything else that anyone would like to say before I wrap this thing up and send it into Super Bowl weekend?
Oh, I will say for the Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, Forrest, real quick. Sorry,
Hold
before I
on.
forget. Your almanac's on the way. Go ahead.
Okay. Was that found a way to pay off the U.S. debt here? Check this out.
Some dumb.
You got Justin Thine said the Treasury Department just needs to put $38 trillion on Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown minus 120, and we'll be out of this mess.
That's not a bad idea.
So here we go. Prop bet.
They got the money
debt on Jalen Hurts scoring a touchdown at any point in time through with his arm or his feet minus 120. I take it. Take it.
What if? Forrest, any parting words?
No, I think just hang in there. It's one of those times where market's a little choppy. Hang in there. Don't do anything stupid. Log out if you have to.
Amen to that. But only log in and watch us on YouTube, especially on Fridays because we got Forrest joining us.
What's up with all the feet comments? Did I miss
It's
it?
Ashley.
Listen, I
She's
need
turning this chat into a freaking Pornhub 3.0.
First we're talking about tattoos, and then I asked if everyone gets pedicures. A lot of people have clean feet. Some of you don't. Do you guys get pedicures?
Yeah, at home.
I just scrub my feet. That's it.
All right. Anyways, Rocco.
Also got Chase back there too. I forgot. Give my man some love too.
What's up, Chase? We're gonna miss you, Chase. Ooh, I like this. I'm gonna see right here. Chase wearing that Bitcoin gold. No, Bitcoin orange. Guys, have a great weekend. We got an ADA video dropping in about 45 minutes. We love you guys. We will see you on Monday.
Every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon, then to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.